wondered maybe they never find me.
Right, it's been a long journey. It's about 20 minutes. We've spoken to an Arsenal fan. No, 20 minutes in a car here is long for me, all right?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, David, but that's me. Time to meet a Liverpool fan. Champions League final.
Buzzing.
Buzzing. No
Yeah.
more. Do we mention the fact that you were an Arsenal fan to him? No. Stay away from it, yes? Even though it was all for 2
going on about this Arsenal fan. I'm actually a Luton Town fan. That's my team. We got promotion this year.
I love Borussia Dortmund. Jurgen Klopp all the way.
And I'm a Liverpool fan.
All right.
Sunlight cut into the bone, start the healing. Oh, but I danced through the blisters at night, and I laughed till I cried and cried. I ran to my
Govin, congratulations, Champions League final.
Champions
word
League,
up.
yeah.
Word up.
Word up.
First question's about goalkeepers from this young man. It's
Yeah.
a current goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's about our current goalkeeper, KARIUS.
Yes.
What's your opinion about him since the beginning of the season to now? How far has he grown?
First of all, when Liverpool signed KARIUS, or said they were going to sign KARIUS, I went through one of my kind of research projects, had a look at his performances as he'd done for Mainz, was it? Was that before? There was an element that needed improving, but there was a rawness about him which I loved. I'm a fan of raw goalkeepers, something that you can
grow, you can mold.
Yeah, you can make them better. Not the mould. I don't like the mouldy bit.
Okay.
I think that rawness means there's an allowance for them to do something which is slightly
raw? What do you mean by raw?
Bruce Grobbler was raw. He was doing stuff that other goalkeepers weren't doing. You look at the polished goalkeepers are the ones who you think, what are you going to do which I don't know you already can do? And I think KARIUS has that level of rawness that he's going to be able to produce things extraordinary. That's what I think. His progression this season, yeah, I mean he's taken over as the full-time #1 in a season where Jurgen Klopp had publicly said that there wasn't a #1 in a sense. You know, Miele was going to be the Premier League goalkeeper, and KARIUS was going to be the Champions League goalkeeper. Well, now he's the #1 goalkeeper, so he's obviously done something to justify that respect from Jurgen Klopp. It's interesting considering that Simon had signed a 5-year deal at the beginning of the season for him not to be in the goal at all now. But I think KARIUS, as I say, I think he offers something with the right coaching, with the right support. He could be top draw.
There's a lot of talk about him being replaced. Will that money be worth it?
This is a Liverpool thing. It's kind of, and I don't mean by the club itself, but it's a Liverpool fan thing. It's a commentator thing. Oh, you know, he hasn't saved as many shots as he should do, so they should replace him. And because it's Liverpool, there's always an option to find someone else.
So
yeah, we spoke about it on the show yesterday with Gary Stevens, and Gary Stevens said, you know, in an ideal world, you can always find someone better for every position. That doesn't make the best team, and also when you've got a philosophy that Liverpool have employed to bring Jurgen Klopp in to develop players. You know, when Jurgen came in, he took over essentially Brendan Rodgers' recruitment. A group of players which were not particularly liked or
we had
fancied.
Zavi.
Well, not everybody makes it to the level they would like. But I think when the likes of Firmino, Lallana, LOVREN, even these players were brought in, and people questioned the recruitment policy at Liverpool. But now Firmino signed a new 5-year deal. LOVREN's in there, Lallana, you know, with the injury granted. But these players are part of the reason why Liverpool are in the Champions League final. So Jurgen Klopp has been able to develop these players through. And as I say, when you've got that kind of philosophy, surely you don't just go and buy or look to buy a better player. You look at the capability of the players you've got. KARIUS as a goalkeeper, I still think has room to become top draw. Otherwise, you're going to go and spend an extortionate amount of money on someone who he could be as good as. And also, who do you go and buy? I mean, I know people talking about Oblak and the likes, but I mean, is Oblak going to make Liverpool a better team? You know, he plays in a completely different style of football with Atletico. It's not to say that he's a good goalkeeper, don't get me wrong, but I just think that with KARIUS, you've already got the potential there. Just make sure that you've got the right people around him to get the best out of that potential.
For you, do Liverpool have the right set of people?
for me at the moment, the goalkeeper issues has been solved. Since KARIUS has picked up his form, I feel that he's our number one. There's no need to replace. But centre-back issues, that's going to be a long story there.
Even now?
Even now, we only have Virgil. One jig there, but Lovren, I think that has to be replaced. He has to go.
Wow.
What's your opinion on this? What do you think about this?
I think, again, there's a level of scrutiny on Liverpool which is probably only afforded more by Manchester United. I think people will scrutinise because of the success of Manchester United Premier League-wise and the lack of Premier League success over the last few years, that Manchester United are under more and more scrutiny. It's interesting that David De Gea, for 4 years in a row, he's been Manchester United's Player of the Season. Well, that suggests what's in front of him isn't good enough. Yeah? But yet, still, Manchester United are fantastic. So at the moment, it's kind of like Manchester United are afforded a level of respect. Although they get the scrutiny, they're still getting that level of respect that Liverpool haven't got, because Liverpool haven't won the Premier League. So week in, week out, Liverpool are going to let a goal in every now and again. Well, there's someone at fault, and it's usually going to be the centre-half or the goalkeeper. Goalkeepers' performances have improved, so therefore it's the centre-half. Van Dijk comes in, he's fantastic, so then it has to be the other centre-half. Well, that's Lovren. Hang on a minute, we didn't like him 2 years ago, so all of a sudden it's like, we still don't like. And I think that it's a bit Wengerish. there's a sort of momentum of disapproval, and that's not going to go away. If they win the Champions League, which I genuinely hope they do, I hope Lovren scores a winner, not Ronaldo's own goal. Because then there'll be a different view on Lovren's performance. I think the guy, again, he has so much talent. We talk about Van Dijk's passing. Lovren has the ability to pass the ball as well as Van Dijk. As a manager, and this is where you look at the strength of a manager, or the support network. I talk about KARIUS, seems to be getting a bit more of it. Talk to Van Dijk, give him the confidence to go out on the field, because I always think something doesn't go quite. You look at, sorry, Van Dijk, you look at Lovren's face, and there's that kind of, yeah, you know, he feels a bit stressed by what's just happened. Rio Ferdinand, for example, you see him shouting, but he always looked confident. Yeah. I don't like bringing up Manchester United too often, but he was one of the best centre-halves. When you've got that confidence in a player, you know you're going to make a mistake, but you don't care, because you know you're going to do something well afterwards. I think if Lovren was given, toughness. Yeah, if you give him that confidence, the mistake goes like.
Already.
Van Dijk never looks stressed.
He looks confident.
Yeah. So even when yesterday, he didn't even know that Giroud was behind him. Yeah, your centre half, your super centre half, didn't even know the guy that scored the winning goal was behind him. So there was a mistake there, but he, no one could see that in his mannerisms. And I think, as I say, Lovren's got that chance to rise up, or you go and buy someone else.
You spoke about the squad, the Champions League. If you compare it to the last time Liverpool won the Champions League final, it's for both of your squad-wise, better? Who?
If the last time when they won 2005, if you're comparing,
they were almost the same. So the current squad and the squad in the Champions League prior to this under Rafa.
I feel this squad has more depth in it, but due to current injury crisis, our midfield seems to be a lot more thinner than how it was. So I feel like this squad can make it is better than the previous squads. What do you think? It's not agreeing to it.
No. In 2005, I was actually in Malawi the day before the Champions League final. So I flew from Malawi to Chicago because England were playing the United States in a. Was it United States? Yeah, we were playing a friendly. It was close to the end of the season. So I'd arrived in Chicago in the morning, and someone said, "You're staying up to watch the Champions League final?" I'm like that. Okay, yeah. And 3-0 down, it was kind of like, this team's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. Stevie G was, and yes, it was Stevie G's final, but Stevie G was the standout player on his side. So if Liverpool are going to win against Real Madrid this time round, your standout player has to rise. Yeah. The thing is, there's so much focus on one player in the Liverpool side at the moment, in Mo Salah. You have his name on your back of your shirt, and rightly so, because his season is amazing. but he's going to have to appear. And what's happened in the last 3 or 4 games? 3 games?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He hasn't appeared.
Yeah. Failed to score in 3 games.
No, I'm just hoping he's saving himself for the final. I generally do.
That's what I tell myself too.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the frustration. I mean, the Ronaldo breaks records week in, week out, but Gareth Bale all of a sudden has arrived again. And you know, you look at this Real Madrid side, and you're thinking there's a lot of areas which they can hurt us. Benzema. There's a lot of areas where they could hurt Liverpool.
Yeah.
Liverpool need Mo Salah to start with to be at his form. Then we need Firmino. The injury crisis.
What is winning the Champions League mean to you?
It means the world to me. Oh man, number 6 it's going to be. See, it will bring Liverpool from. It will bring them one step higher. You know, in transfer-wise, transfer window. You know, we will have a strength there.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to when you don't have trophies behind you. When you want to get players in, it's difficult. Players want to win trophies. David, you wanted to win trophies, right? Throughout your career. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's a great point, because I mean, you look at Arsenal's acquisition of players. If you use the FA Cup as the only thing they've won in the last 15 years, yeah, then why would a player sign for Arsenal?
Exactly.
Just to play in the Champions League?
Yeah.
Or to say, I mean, I love the FA Cup, but I mean, yeah, no, granted, but if you're playing for a team that's won the Champions League, to wear that gold Champions League badge on your shoulder is kind of like, yeah, respect. And then there's an expectation and a realisation that you are actually capable of doing this, because you've done it, and therefore the next time you challenge for it, you've done it with the knowing that this squad was good enough. And yeah, I agree with him. In 6 times, they'd have to change a lot of their advertising, because at the moment it's 5 times.
yeah,
but it's kind of,
a lot of our flags have to change too.
Really?
I need to spend a lot of money on that.
Final question, just for me. KARIUS or David James?
Tough
I
question.
can't even believe he's thinking about it.
Yeah, bro, I can't believe you're thinking about
David's
it.
right here,
Yes.
but say KARIUS.
Oh my goodness. You know, okay, bye. See you all. Take care.
But I was a huge fan of David. I loved your game. I loved your game. There was this one thing about you.
Go on.
You had style. You were a good shop stopper, right? But when it comes to catching the ball,
Hey, okay, enough. Thank you very much. All right, see you.
when it comes
Bye.
to catching the ball,
Hey,
I
take care.
had to ask, what runs in your head?
What?
What runs in your head when the ball comes towards you?
Interesting. So, for example, KARIUS catches a ball. He caught one yesterday. The problem is, it's a bit like the LOVREN thing. It's so easy to focus on a negative.
Yeah.
And what generally happens in a goalkeeper's position, if someone scores on a weekend, then you'll see the highlights. And the less time you have for highlights, the less they'll show. So generally, it's just the goal. LOVREN's a defender, so goals, he's usually on the screen. KARIUS or myself, if there's a goal going in, then usually on the screen. What they won't do is show the saves. Don't worry. He's a genuine Liverpool fan.
Yeah, of course.
Had to let you know you're fine. Running circles around my mind. Even when it's rainy, all you ever do is shine. You on fire. You start to...
That was interesting. I put him on the spot. Were you surprised with his answer, you and KARIUS? Did it offend you in any way? I'm so sorry, Dave. Yeah, but carry on.
No, he's entitled to his own opinion, even if that opinion is wrong. No. I'm a fan of KARIUS myself, so as much as I would love to still play Premier League football, the game evolves. The skill set of a goalkeeper nowadays is completely different to what it was. I'd say back in my time, when I was playing at Liverpool, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, not a problem. KARIUS is doing one thing that I never did, and that is being in a team preparing for a Champions League final. So
Wow. And
well played, KARIUS.